Jones almost makes ground. He takes it back to shoulder. That's a goal. They've just got to sit here. It's as good as you'll ever see.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fourth Bigfooty Blues podcast. I am the Wookiee, and with me as always, the disturbingly handsome and beloved leader, the Old Dark Navies. And rejoining us after a brief desert sabbatical where he matched wits with the devil and survived only on manna and quail sent by God, welcome back, Doc. How are we, guys?
Woo! Well, there's not much to say after that sort of a welcome.
It would help the intro more if you guys didn't act like it was the first time I'd ever got it right.
Well,
it's probably
so.
With some of the things you said, I'm not sure that you did get it right.
How are we, guys?
In general, pretty good. In footballing terms, yeah. We're all in a bit of a holding pattern, aren't we?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm holding myself right now. Wait, what?
There we have it. We were missing that last week.
Yeah, the man who was absent for reasons of his own last week is returned. Doc, how you doing, mate?
I am fantastic.
Were you drunk during last week's football game?
That is disclosed. No, actually I was. Yeah, of course I was.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Well, on that note, let's discuss last week's game a little bit. We lost. It was another close game, the third close game in a row. I think it's something like 27 points, our total losing margin over the last three games. So we're there, or thereabouts, but not quite over it all yet. How did we see the Geelong game, Odium?
Lapses. We just keep dropping our bundle periods of the game, and we're on it most of the time. We're showing a lot of skill. We're showing a fair bit of system, and then suddenly it just falls away. And it was very apparent in the Geelong game because they got some real run-ons with consecutive goals and very, very quickly. We had a similar amount of scoring shots in inside 50s. They were very accurate. We weren't too bad, but they were very accurate. And just a little bit of composure hurt us, and their smalls hurt us. They carved us up. Stokes, Taylor Hunt, Christensen had a good game, and it would have been nice for us to have another small out there with Eddie still missing.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting. One of the things that Jason Dunstall said on AFL Insider last night, and you can see that segment on the forum as of this afternoon because I was a bit late putting it up. But I have been rather slack lately, actually. But and he says that rather than look at the tall forwards all the time, maybe we should be looking at more small forwards. Because the speed seems to work for us. Kicking to these big guys has had some mixed results, to say the least. And maybe, when Betts comes back, we should have Betts, Garlett, and Yaron down forward, or something similar to that. And you've got to admit, that'd be a damn quick forward line.
Certainly.
But would be fairly useless in contested marking situations with big fellas down there.
Well, there's something. Yeah. Sorry, there's something to be said there for you're looking at the quality of our talls versus the quality of our smalls. So with the inexperience amongst our talls that we have available to us at the moment, the quality is down a little bit compared to some of the other smalls that we could bring in. So you think that we minimise our talls and just have enough to get for people to get to a contest and actually bring the ball to ground, and then the quality on the ground would be, it's sort of like, which way do we go with it? But certainly, if we don't have people up there taking players up there taking contested marks, maybe we need to play a different game. Yeah.
Well, it's easy because it's easy if you remember that 2011, our best year probably since 2001, We had Walker, who's not a massively tall forward at 191 centimetres. We
He's
had
a gun. He's
Betts
a
and we
gun.
had Garlett, and they all kicked 50 goals each for the season. And by far our best performance out of the forward line since Lance retired. So, I mean, maybe he's got a point. Maybe that's what we should be looking at, more than trying to plonk a big forward like Casbolt, who could have been better at the start of this year. Rowe, I thought, performed pretty well, and, he could have kicked 4 goals if he'd tried. But, spraying goals seemed to be in vogue on the weekend anyway, if Pavlich's effort was anything to go by. So he's not exactly alone on the weekend. That was a shocking attempt.
There was a fair few in that game.
Yeah, and they're just spraying them left, right, and centre. So he wasn't alone there, and I thought he actually put up a good hand, Rowe. So
Yeah.
we'll be seeing a lot more of him in the seniors, and sadly, I think unless Mick really throws a spanner in the works, we'll be seeing Casbolt play a little bit of reserves footy for a while as Warnock comes back this week.
Is he coming back?
Well, that's the thing. If he comes back, I mean, I can't imagine us. I can't imagine us leaving. I mean, Warnock was one of the best on ground, according to reports coming from the Northern Blues on the weekend. So you'd expect him to come back with Cruiser now out for the next month.
Mick's presser today was it was a little bit possibly misleading, wasn't it?
He was a bit ambivalent about the whole thing, wasn't he? He was like, "Wow, maybe."
Just for the people who don't know, do you want to say it? Do you want to give some information? Because I didn't hear this presser.
Well, no, he said that we'll probably bring back. He said we'll probably bring back Casbolt or both, and Warnock, which was a bit confusing. But he's obviously saying it sounded like he was saying we're going to bring back Casbolt, but we might bring back Casbolt and Warnock.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would have thought Warnock would have been the first one chosen, and Casbolt might be the
second.
if they decide to go a little bit taller. So
well, if say Hampson's still not good enough to go, they might bring back both. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
This is true.
But I mean, at this stage, I wouldn't be surprised to see Mitchell wander into the game, form or no form. I mean, it's just the way the season seems to be going and the way the team lineups seem to be named.
Yeah.
And to be honest, he couldn't do much worse forward than some of our bigger forwards are doing. So, yeah.
Might as well try him.
Well, I would. I mean, we need a forward, and Mitchell is literally a forward. So
it'll silence some of the posters on the forums, I'd say. If we're not going to win, at least we're going to turn over our list and get to see all the kids play. That seems to make a lot of people feel happy. So
you can never silence people on the forums. They'll find a way, and
wishful thinking, guys. Wishful thinking.
If they don't find a way on Bigfooty, they'll find their way over to the angst-ridden depths of football that is Talking Carlton.
Are we talking about Jurassic Park breeding here? They do.
There are people over there that lay everything that is wrong with Carlton squarely at the feet of Stephen Kernahan, and it drives me nuts, because anyone who looks at the club's results over the years can see that since he took over, we've only really gotten better, and it was really only last year we took a step back.
Yeah.
So, but we've covered that territory already on the podcast, Odium. So let's not go back then. I guess it's time for the Player of the Year announcement for round 3, and Walker, for whatever reason, clearly best on ground for most people. Of the 40 people who voted this week, 38 of them voted for Walker as best on ground, and 2 voted for Judd, and no one else even got a look in. Judd came in second place with the majority of the second place votes for the ground. And then Jamison a long way behind, and Carazzo not far behind him, and McLean bringing up the 5th spot in that particular thing. Rowe
Go
Rowe was clearly the best new blue by a fair margin there. If we go to the leaderboard, which will be up later tonight, and yes, I have read the forums and I have acquiesced to those who want a standard 5-4-3-2-1 announcement. You'll be getting that later today.
Denied.
But the leaderboard still has Cruiser at the top with 9, Judd on 8, Jamieson and Walker on 7, Gibbs on 5, Garlett on 3, Yaron and Carazzo on 2, Hampson and McLean bringing up the rear on 1. So, yeah.
That's a good idea, Wook. I think by the end of the season, you would have had somebody on about 1 million votes, and these guys, if they've got to take off their shoes and socks to count up all the votes, are in a bit of trouble. So, I think you've done well.
I'll be
Some
doing
people
that
can't
anyway,
count that
to be
high
honest. Those stats will be available to people who have no life like me. So,
well, we can count that high if it comes to Lucas missed tackles. Am I right?
That's a good point. Lucas again played a serviceable game on the weekend.
He's doing well, the lad.
He is certainly not the worst player on the ground at the moment, and he's up there with the middle tier of pretty much everyone doing stuff. He's not Judd, he's not even Yaron, but he's still doing some good things, and he took a good mark and he kicked a couple of good goals. He sprayed another one, but as we said earlier, it was the in thing to do this weekend. So, yeah, I guess that leads us to injuries, and as you will have noticed, Cruiser will be gone for what was originally predicted to be a 6 to 8 week period, and has been reduced by the club down to 4 weeks.
Which is great news.
Which is fantastic news.
Do we trust them?
Do we trust them?
I mean,
that's a good thing.
So is it waiting back out to 8 weeks and Cruiser come into 4? What's happening?
I don't think it's a waiting.
Well, wait. Apparently, Judd told 6PR today that Waite will be back in 3 weeks. The club says he'll be back in 2. Yeah. And the AFL website had him listed up for a test. So, who knows?
They've got it on a loop, though.
Maybe it's one of those things we'll have to ask Doc later in the program, and he'll have an answer.
He will.
That's right, folks. Ask Doc is finally here. And we'll be having some fun with that later on. How bad will the loss of Cruiser affect the team in the next 4 weeks? I mean, we've got West Coast, we've got other teams that I can't remember coming up.
One game at a time, that's all that matters, mate. Adelaide next, after that, and then we've got a string of easy ones.
Well, Sammy Jacobs, the ex-Blue over there, is a bit out of form, apparently, and according to AFL Insider, it's affecting everyone on the team. They're not getting their clearances. Paddy Dangerfield's influence is lessened. All sorts of things. So hopefully that continues.
Pretty plain without sauce, mate.
Past our next.
Oh, wow.
So anyway.
Shit.
Oh dear. So we got a good couple of games. The other thing that they brought up on AFL 360, on Footy Classified of all things, on Monday night was that while we've lost the first 3 games of the season, we've by no means disgraced ourselves. We've at least been competitive, and so we should be there or thereabouts come finals time, apparently, according to none other than Matthew Lloyd.
Wow. The Oracle. Okay.
That's right. So we're going to probably finish below GWS, and
It's just a matter of whether we're prone to inconsistency. So, we've been fairly consistent in that we've been competitive in the first 3 rounds. But if that inconsistency of last year comes back, the stuff, the Gold Coast stuff or the Port Adelaide stuff,
Happened all over again.
we might start dropping some of these games that we have to win because we've lost too many early. So, yeah, I don't want to make any big predictions about.
All right, so if we take it a week at a time, we've got West Coast coming up on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
If you read what, if I may say so myself, was a brilliantly prepared preview on the forum.
Did you write it?
Yes, as a matter of
Well,
fact.
no wonder it was. Yeah,
I
okay,
just
I'll
read
get it
I
now.
didn't read it.
Right.
Sorry.
It's a fantastic preview.
I didn't read
It was. Didn't read it. I'll tell you, that's one thing about forums that annoys me the most that I've noticed lately. Again, is the TLDR people too long didn't read. It drives me nuts.
Oh, is that what that means? Oh,
Yes,
man,
yes, it is.
Oh,
Welcome
man.
to
Give it times.
modern forums.
Wow.
TLDR, too long
All
didn't
right.
read. It's basically people that just can't be bothered and are really trying to.
Oh, it's not that I couldn't be bothered. I just didn't want to read your post.
Hey, easy time. I thought it was quite good, right up to the fact I only used the late 1980s emblems for the teams at the top of the page. So, but look, head to head with won 19, lost 19 with them out of 38 games. We've never drawed with the Eagles, and in the last 5 we've won 2 and lost 3, which is a pretty good record for us. In recent times.
Not bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
So we've had some, and we mainly play them over there as well. We travel over there to play them for the most part. So yeah, and they seem to beat us over here in Melbourne. So go figure.
It's all good for us, I think.
So this game will be Saturday night. For those of us that are fortunate, you'll get it on free-to-air TV, while sadly myself and ODN will be watching it on Fox Footy, because I've got to put up with some stupid Port game or something that's on here. So, and really, who cares? Who cares about Port? There are a couple of big
They're
questions.
going places.
There are a couple of big questions. We've had a lot of trouble with small forwards. How do you, who do you see picking up Lecras, for instance? Odeon?
Oh, you put me on the spot.
Well, I don't know. So he's going to ask you.
Well, true
You
that.
should be prepared for these things.
Yeah,
Well,
look,
there's been a lot of speculation about.
I've read that Joseph played on him once, but everybody sort of seems to want Joseph out of the side, and I'm not sure how Tui would go. Tui had a bit of a resurgence on the weekend. I thought he played a pretty good game, and he was in my votes. And
He was in a lot of people's votes, actually.
I'm not sure if he has enough tricks to man Lecras. You need Lecras pretty good in the air too. It might end up being Walker, even though we sort of want Walk's rebounding. He reads the play so well. He's very strong body on body, and Lecras is very good in that regard. So Walker's not a bad matchup. I'd say he has him covered in just about every area, and he's in form. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Joseph is more of a horses for courses player, I think. Like, he should only really be brought in if there's that tagging defensive role. For mine, I think he serves a purpose. I mean, he does a pretty good job on Gary Ablett, for instance. But
what was that about a million years ago in an Ad Cup game?
no.
No, that was actually through the season.
Yeah, there were 2 season games where he walloped Ablett. Like, just really did keep him well restrained.
Giving it like 15 touches or something like that.
The problem is, I think he lives off that reputation still.
Right.
So every time there's a tagging role to come up, whether it's Stevie Milne or Cyril Rioli, and he does do a good job on Rioli, I must say.
He does.
He did.
She was a sook, though.
Well, that's true.
Mick seems to like him too, doesn't he?
Well, Mick seems to like a lot of. I'm not sure Mick likes anybody at the moment. He's just picking people to see what they can do, and hopefully find a mix that will actually, be defensive for a change. And I think that's why Walker's back down in defence, and I don't think that's going to change in a hurry. It's like people who wish Henderson will go forward. I don't think that'll happen.
Well, here's the funny thing. People talking about Layla kicking a couple of goals in the twos, playing centre half forward or something. Was that right?
He did. He kicked a 3, I think, and
that's it.
but then went missing for a quarter or so, I think, or half a game. But we're only relying on what the VFL watchers tell us. But
yeah, that's it.
I don't think he was in their best as such.
I mean, Daigen kicked 3 goals against Collingwood last year and did nothing else for the rest of the year. So
that's very true too.
We did persevere for a couple of weeks,
and we did try it again. So it's it's not necessarily going to be something that repeats itself.
No, of course not.
Look, there's a couple of exciting battles that will be coming up. Jamieson and Henderson will take on Kennedy and Darling, as far as I can tell anyway. And Jamieson is in fantastic form at the moment. And I expect him to, whoever plays on him, will be kept goalless, I think, or they'll have a minimal impact, which will be good. The rucks will be interesting. No Nick Nat, so they'll have a part-timer.
I think Sinclair's in there, isn't he?
Probably. Yeah, probably. And Mackenzie's expected back as well for the defensive side of things. But how well Cox can go up against, Warnock, Hampson, Rowe. I mean, all 3 of those guys can ruck reasonably well. So, and all 3 of them are 200 centimetre plus ruckmen. So, which is a good problem to have.
Are they?
Yeah. Well, Rowe.
Warnock is and Hampson, but what about Rowe?
I'm pretty sure Rowe has, in some sources, at least been listed as 200 centimetres. He may be shorter than that officially.
I think 198 officially.
198? Well, it's close enough. May as well be 200 centimetres.
No, there's a big difference.
Hey.
You either get over that stump or you don't.
Wow, someone knows over the hump, isn't he?
Yeah, 201. Come at me.
We can't all be mutant freaks of nature. No, I've got a friend of mine who's exactly 7 foot tall, or 6'11" or something stupid, and he's got
that's not exactly 7 foot tall now.
And he's got a head the size of a watermelon.
Right.
Like it's.
Doc's got a real issue with height, isn't he?
He does. You think be all superior about it, but no. Apparently, he's just got issues with people claiming they're taller than they are.
That's it.
Anyway.
Big man syndrome.
West Coast are coming off their first win for the season. They beat Melbourne by some phenomenal margin. It was easily predictable.
It's like everybody does.
How does that compare to our 3 losses? And is it going to be relevant when we play them at Subiaco? If they can only beat Melbourne for the year, you've got to wonder whether this might actually be one we can win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go, Doc. I'm interested.
Yeah, because I'm really going to be talk about something that's actually relevant. Yeah. No, you go on.
Really? True.
Take over before I.
You're such a gentleman, mate. Look, yeah, they got about 96 points over Melbourne. They hadn't done terribly well in their first 2 rounds. The thing I'm concerned about with West Coast is they tend to get a lot of free kicks over there, and we've certainly been on the receiving end of the free kick count more often than not this year. When it comes
to the haters on the board again.
I know. We were
a lot of that.
Yeah, but the 50-50 stuff tends to go against us a little bit.
Yeah,
and West Coast, Big Cox is he's good at drawing the free kick, especially in the forward line. And the likes
he's not exactly on his own there.
No, the likes of Selwood and Hams and whatnot. I don't even know who's playing. I hear they've got a couple of injuries, but I know Hams is one that's pretty good at picking up, bending the knees and picking up some high free kicks. And
Allegedly, my friend.
well, you know, look, we don't work for the AFL.
This could be the Joseph tagging role.
We can call it as it is, folks, can't we?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fair. Well, sorry for being the moderate.
He goes down. He goes down quicker than Linda Lovelace, mate.
Easy, Tiger. People like Doc won't be old enough to remember who she is.
That's
So,
right.
It's true. I really don't. I'm going to
Doc will
Google
be
it
there
right
on
now.
Google now.
I'm all over it.
Looking up Amelia Earhart and now Linda Lovelace.
Get down.
Just don't go to image search for that one, whatever you do.
Just type in Google things that went down.
All right. That sounds like a plan.
The Titanic, the Hindenburg, Linda
What
Lovelace.
are these pictures? What's going on?
It does
What
make
is
you wonder
this?
what ODN's doing up there on the, in his ivory tower at times, doesn't it? Anyway,
A lonely existence, mate.
who do we think is going to win? What sort of margin are we expecting? Take it away, ODN.
Oh yeah. I'm not confident. Being West Coast have won the last, I think they won the last 3 against us, and but we performed pretty well over there. They're usually pretty close games, and they've got a couple out. If we bring the endeavour of last week and even the week before against Collingwood, we've got a chance. I'm very concerned about Darling and Kennedy. We really struggle with their hide up forward. But of course, eternal optimist. We're going to we've got our backs against the wall, so we're going to take it to 1-3 in a very, very close one.
Excellent. And Doc, how do you?
I've been way off the target with all these, so I'm just going to say, Carlton by 50.
Way to correct that radar.
Oh, might as well just keep going with it.
Well, I think
That's
we
good times
can win
again.
this one. I think we can win this one, and do so reasonably well. I mean, beating Melbourne's nothing. I mean, you, me, Doc, we could all go out there and beat Melbourne at the moment.
Team.
So, yeah, so that I think
Wild
we'll
dogs
win.
out in the street.
It's-
Beat them.
I think we can win this. I think around 30 odd points will be a good margin. But realistically, I'll take anything over 5. So
Win's a win.
yeah, we got to get a win on the board somewhere. And
So
the
we
week
won.
after was Adelaide and Melbourne. The way Adelaide are playing, I mean that's a shot as well. We could be 3-2, or we could be 5-0. So or 0-5 rather. So he's hoping for a win.
The next games after that, they're all pretty gettable too.
Well,
Probably
everything
from
after that.
round 6 to round, 11 or so?
We kind of got stitched up a little bit by the AFL in the first 5 rounds. So we'll see how we go after that when all the hard stuff's up. Alright, so now it's time for the segment we've all been waiting for.
It's not really.
No, it is. People have been talking about it. I'm starting to sound like Danny Frawley.
Anticipation building.
It's been all over the place. I mean,
I'm excited.
it's
Doc.
So, Doc, have you got any questions? Did anyone give you any questions at all?
Oh, there was a few there. Oh, actually, no, there probably wasn't. Not really.
If I look at the thread and there's questions, you're going to be in trouble.
There's something about peptides by Space Cow, but I wasn't answering that. I don't know what they are.
Are you on
Pretty
peptides?
But no, I'm not going to answer those.
Who's your supplier?
That's it.
Stupid.
It's, so, a quick perusal through the forum tells me that, look, when's Aphrodite coming on the show, Doc?
Let's see. We heard round 4. I think. No, this is round 4, isn't it? Isn't our 4th?
So perhaps next week.
Maybe 5.
Perhaps next
Maybe
week
6.
No,
No,
It's still
next
4.
week. Next
I
week.
still hold out hope she's going to join in at the end of this one.
Okay, you hold on to that.
And someone else wanted me to ask if it's true that you're Dr. Peter Larkins.
Oh, didn't I say I'd start ringing people's necks if they started asking that? Yeah.
Or maybe it's someone who doesn't listen to the podcast very much.
It's always going down.
You're too tall, Doc. You'll do your back in trying to reach down to ring their neck,
Yeah,
mate.
maybe. Getting too old for that. God.
Is that the best we got, guys?
Is that
No. I've had some other questions submitted. Where are we?
Here we go.
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Got nothing? Who shot down Amelia Earhart?
That was me. I didn't do it.
I was really counting on that answer too.
Why do bad things happen to good people?
Stiff shit. It's just life.
That's a good answer, actually.
I got nothing else.
Well, on that note,
High five.
if you have questions for Doc, there's
Ask
a
me.
thread on the in the Blue Room on the Bigfooty Blue on the Bigfooty forum for Carlton. Get in there, get your questions in, and if they're any good, we'll ask Doc.
Ask him, or he's going to come after you.
And we'll take it from there. Otherwise, I'll have to keep making up questions for him that he'll have no idea where they're from. Incidentally, the swallow question, Monty Python, the Holy Grail, you're a very sad man. But it probably predated your time. So,
Yes.
It was like 1983 or something, so,
By 2 years. So yeah.
by 2 years.
Yeah.
That was good. That's as good as Andrew Gaze's segment on what you were called.
It's as good as any segment on After the Bounce. So,
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, good old.
so I guess, ODN, how's the board looking this week for you?
Our preview threads going great guns. Our historical perspective threads, which are a weekly occurrence, again, lots of fun and good memories in those threads, and we encourage people to keep contributing those to those every week. Really good initiative. There's a thread on the boards by Stamos called Mick. And it's really just talking about pretty much where we think Mick's taken us, and whether he's concerned about wins or whether it's all about the end result and where we are at the end of the year. And it's generated a lot of good discussion, and
Because I haven't been in there yet.
yeah, there's nothing too hostile in there.
I've derailed it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we're keeping an eye on you.
I might get back onto that after the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a good one to follow. Listen, and just off the boards, but in relation to Bigfooty Blues, we have last time I checked, 497 Twitter followers. Get on there. We'd like to get 3 more and round it off to a nice even 500. And we have 27 Facebook likes, and we need 3 more to get access to more data about our page. I don't know what that is, but I'll let you know once you like the page and we get up to that 30 point. Facebook's really tempting me. They're holding a carrot in front of my nose. So get on there and like it.
If it was beer, it might work better.
If it was beer. All right, guys. Well, good luck for the weekend to everybody, and I'll say goodbye to you, old Doug Navies.
Bye, Wookie, and bye, Doc.
And I'll say goodnight to Doc. Thanks for finally coming back to us. We hope to see you again next week.
I am that magical. You know you love me.
Oh,
All right, guys. I'll see you
Guys,
later.
thanks very much, and we'll see you all on the forums.
Comes almost, Max Brown, he taps it back to Sheldon, it's a goal! Ball just got to sit here.